Jim and Dakota mounted their horses and headed to the trail behind the house. The first part of the path climbed steadily over a rush of loose rocks, where sparse, low-growing shrubs and pines created constant obstacles. "Dakota, watch for rattlesnakes," her grandfather said. "They will be out sunning themselves. The sound of the horses' hooves on the rocks should scare them away, but as you know, they can be stubborn." "I will, Woo-Woo. What trail are we using on the ridgetop?" "We will follow the Dead Mountain Trail, past the Nahonakaitit Bita'uwu, and then across the top of Eagle Canyon. I have seen the grizzlies up there." "I never like passing the burial ground. I always feel like I'm being watched up there," Dakota whined. Woo-Woo looked over at her and chuckled. "Do not fear our dead ancestors. The live ones are our worries." They continued the ride, talking about the history and ancient myths of areas they passed. Despite Dakota's having heard these stories many times, it never got old listening to her grandfather tell them. He was well-spoken, with a distinctive American Indian accent. His deep voice and calm, steady tone made for the perfect storytelling voice. As they reached the rim of Eagle Canyon, Woo-Woo stopped his horse and dismounted. He grabbed his binoculars and panned ahead of them. "I do not see them yet, Lomasi, but I do not want to get up on them. An angry grizzly mom and her cubs is not something we want to encounter." He lowered his binoculars. Dakota dismounted her horse and stood next to him, and they gazed out over the canyon valley. "It's so beautiful, Woo-Woo. I'm so glad to be back here with Newu and you." "Dakota, I'm glad you choose the path you did. I have had many good offers to sell the firm, but when you entered law school, I decided to hold on to it. When you are ready, I will pass it to you. I am tired. It is time for your grandmother and me to walk the final part of our journey." "Grandfather, please don't talk like that. You and Grandma will be around for a long time. I want one day for my children to know both of you, to learn from you as I did." Dakota's eyes filled up with tears. Rarely did she call him grandfather, and only in the most serious moments, or in social settings that required formal speech. "Lomasi, do not get upset. We both plan on being around a long time." He pulled her close and hugged her. They stood silent with their arms around each other's waists, gazing over the canyons. Dakota knew one day her fairy tale here would end, but for now, she wanted to live in this magical land filled with romantic tales of beautiful Indian maidens and brave warriors. "There they are," he whispered, breaking the silence. "Where, Woo-Woo?" "Look at the small outcropping on the edge of the canyon, about 100 yards out, just to the left. I saw the mother go up on her hind legs to survey the area. There she is again." "I see her. Okay, let me grab my camera. I'll creep up the hillside and hopefully get a better shot." Dakota moved into position and snapped picture after picture, capturing the mother and two cubs. The mother bear sprung up on her hind legs and lifted her nose into the wind. "Dakota, let's get back on the horses. She either winded us or a male grizzly. She is in defense mode and can close the gap on us quickly. I do not want to be forced to shoot her and leave the cubs orphaned. They would not live for more than a few days on their own." The two mounted their horses and retreated, opening a distance between the bears and themselves. Her grandfather turned often and looked with his binoculars to make sure the sow stayed with her cubs. "Woo-Woo, that was awesome," Dakota said. "I got great shots of her and the cubs. I can't wait to show Newu." He smiled. "Just like when you were a little girl, always bringing home treasures from your adventures. I am sure she will have a collage of bear pictures on your wall by the end of the week." He loved Dakota's childlike excitement. At the end of the summer, when she began her new career wading through the muck of humanity, he knew it would disappear forever. For the next 2 months, however, he would cherish every minute of it.